Hey Zen family, I'm here with the incredible Marcie Benavides, who is in San Antonio doing her first strong training for Texas.
That's
so,
right.
if you're going to take strong in Texas, she is our ZES, and we're so lucky to have her because I've only been a Zen member since April of 2013, and my first Zen volume was 45 with the amazing Gina Grant. And then shortly thereafter, I got 49 with you and Loretta.
That's right.
Doing the live class, and I was like, who is this blonde girl with the insane cueing skills? I mean, I was like, oh my God, this is incredible. Because I had just taken pro skills a couple months before that. And so it was like this great refresh of like cueing and how to really understand how to do it. I was like, oh my, this is like my little training boost, perfect little DVD that I got. So I was really hooked on you on that. And then 61 came along, I was like, yes, here we got the cueing again. And then 63, I mean, it was just awesome. But in 61, I really noticed with you and Ricardo, I mean, I really saw your progressions, like the way you did the choreography. It was like the progressions were very obvious. It's like, I love this. It was like so
I did that on
perfect.
purpose.
It was amazing, absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
So I want everybody to get to know a little bit more about you, and so they'll have to understand what you're all about before they come to their strong training.
That's right.
So when did you first come to Zumba?
I actually found Zumba because I had been in fitness and teaching fitness for about 20 years and got very burnt out on teaching aerobics and just the monotony of it and wanted something different. So I talked to a friend who invited me to her Zumba class that she was teaching, and I took one class, instantly hooked. But I waited about a year to get my license because I just wanted to see how it was going, you know?
Yeah.
And I got my license, and I've been teaching Zumba Fitness, been with Zumba Fitness since 2008.
Wow.
Hired by them in 2009.
And when did you become a ZES?
In 2009, so October 2009.
What made you decide to take the next step to go and actually train people to be instructors?
You know what is actually interesting about that story and is kind of heartbreaking a little bit is that I lived in Louisiana and was a Zumba instructor at that time. So I started hosting trainings. I was a host. People with ZESs would come to me at the gym that I worked at. One of them was Julie Kelly. So I hosted her for several trainings, and one of the trainings, her first one that she came to me for, she looked at me at the lunch break and she said, have you ever thought about becoming a ZES?
Wow.
Yeah,
cool.
which was very cool, very humbling, and I was like, you know what? Yes, no, I don't know. And at the time they had put out a call for the Zumba Atomic, which was Zumba Kids prior. And so anyway, long story short, they had closed the time for you to send in a resume and everything, so Julie Kelly made a phone call.
Wow.
And she got me able to get my resume in. And so she was the catalyst to help me to get to where I am.
So that was so Zumba Atomic was your first thing. What else do you teach now? So you got B1. You still do Zumba Atomic?
I don't do Zumba Kids anymore. I do B1s, B2, Pro Skills, Zumba Step. Yes.
Yeah, and amazing.
Thank you. And then now Strong by Zumba.
Wow. Okay. So you got quite a big plate to do that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Hey, that's great. So being in fitness before you did this, how do you think becoming a ZES changed your style as an instructor?
You know what's the beauty of being a ZES is that we get to travel. So we get to travel all over the world, meeting lots of different people. And so for me, it was interesting since I don't come from a dance background, I come from a fitness background, to learn dancing, to learn the different styles of dance, the cultures behind the different styles and what they mean, that actually certain dances mean things to people in their country that they're from. So to learn that, the history, but really just to see the variety of styles that people have around the world, and it's beautiful, and I learn from that.
And that's
one And the Zen volumes are really there for you to use what works for you and for your participants, what's going to be beneficial and successful for you. So you guys always know that any Zen volume you get, it's a guideline. Use what works for you, modify if necessary, progress if necessary, whatever's going to make you feel comfortable, but most importantly, making your students feel good and successful so that they come back. You know?
One of the things I always do with them is I always make myself at home do my own little class at home. So I'll watch the live version all the way through, I'll watch the one-on-one all the way through, and I'll do that twice on each one. And it just kind of forces me to try different ways of moving. And there have been times where things I might have put down, and I was like, wait, this is actually kind of cool. And then I start using it in my class, or I find a better way to move, or I understand how to do a certain movement different now, and I can actually start incorporating it. So there's so much great training in there.
Dig into it a little bit, you know.
So Pro Skills, whenever you first saw Pro Skills, what did you think of that?
It's about time.
amazing
really,
training.
right? I mean, like,
it's amazing.
when I saw the training, I'm like, oh, this is what we need. It kind of helps balance everything else out, you know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It is that. Whatever you're lacking, Pro Skills will help you, not just to find it, you know, but to define it, okay? Because we all have strengths, and if we all have strengths, that means we all have weaknesses as well. So it's to see, okay, I'm strong in this, but I'm not so strong in this. What do I need to do to build this up so that we do provide that well-rounded class for everybody?
One of the things I tell people about Pro Skills is it's kind of like it's the secret playbook. You think about your favorite Zumba presenters, and with the way you guys present on the stage in a big master class, it's kind of like telling you, look, this is how we do it. This is how we make this happen. And you do drills to actually learn how to put that magic pixie dust on top of your classes. So,
and it's really not that hard.
It's
a lot
not
of it
that
is
hard.
common sense that you know, but you don't know that you know it until someone points it out. That's all it is.
And what's really funny is once you learn how to actually do it, you actually work a lot less as an instructor.
You do.
You probably just stand around there and go, hey, go that way, and watch them do it. It just suddenly happens.
So true.
It's so cool.
It is. We show you how to save your body so that you can teach more classes.
So my opinion personally is that everybody should take Pro Skills. I mean,
That's a great opinion.
You're not complete as an instructor until you take Pro Skills. How long do you usually tell people after taking the B1 that they should think about looking into Pro Skills?
You know, and that's a kind of individual question because it depends on the person's background, their history. If they've taught fitness classes before, they may be more prepared for certain things. So that is different for every single person. I always tell people, you know, go ahead and start teaching your classes in Zumba Fitness so you get the idea of how Zumba Fitness runs. And then, you know, so it could be a few weeks, it could be 6 months, it could be a year, just depends on your background.
Right,
Yeah.
when you're ready for it.
When you're ready.
So whenever you're putting together your playlist for your regular classes, how do you usually kind of line things up? How do you create your perfect playlist?
My perfect playlist is whatever DJ Francis wants.
Hey!
That's it.
That's the benefit.
I know,
I'm
really
like,
don't create anything anymore.
I'm jealous because it's like, you know, she's like, oh, hey, I like these songs, make this work, and then she gets it.
That's the whole point of marrying a
That's
DJ.
the perk.
That's why I did it. That's right. I really needed some good music in my Zumba classes, so I found a DJ and I married him.
There you go. So there's your hint to have the
That's
best
right.
classes.
Marry
Find a
DJ.
That works. Are there any rhythms that you really haven't played into yet to bring to your classes that you really want to explore deeper and get better at?
You know what? My weakest, and I'll be honest, and I'm honest now with everyone, my weakest rhythm is belly dance.
Isolations. It is.
I just don't
tricky.
feel super duper comfortable.
Yeah.
You know, you have to be very girly, very feminine, and I'm a tomboy. Fitness, you know, so when I have to be all like, it's odd, it's awkward, you know.
It's
so
weird.
that one I would actually like to learn better so that I feel more comfortable.
So Zumba needs to send you to somewhere in that part
Yes,
of the world
Zumba needs to send me
for a
to
project for a month, that she can get some good skills training there.
that, or just better yet, send someone to me so
There
I
you
don't
go.
have to go anywhere.
That works. That's great. Also, that works too. Where do you typically go to find inspiration to keep your classes exciting?
You know, I actually look to some other ZESs. I go to their YouTubes or their master class videos. You know, I just try to find what they're doing, and I steal like crazy, and I say I made it up.
Hey, own it, own it.
These are all
That's
the
the trick.
secrets. These are all the secrets.
So having the long fitness background though, how do you avoid burnout? You know, because you've been doing Zumba for a while now, and you were going through burnout before fitness. What keeps Zumba alive and exciting for you?
I think the variety, the classes that I teach, the trainings that I teach, it provides that variety so I'm not burnt out. And it's a different energy. It's a different energy that's in the Zumba class. And so I don't think the burnout happens because it is a different environment.
Yeah,
You
and
know,
it keeps
it's not
changing over
stress.
time. It's not like it was 5 years ago.
Yeah.
It just keeps morphing into different things.
Yeah, and I think the older that you get, you become more settled in who you are, and you're able to extend to like, okay, I want to see you guys do better. I want to see you happy.
Yeah.
It's, you know, and so as an instructor, when I started teaching at 15, I wanted to be happy.
Right,
like, I want
right.
to look at me. But now that I'm 42, and I don't want that. You know, I want to see people do well, and I want to see them happy and have a successful time, because I know that if they have a good time and they're successful, they're going to come back.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm not worried so much about my pocket being full, because
Right.
I know if they have a good time, they're coming
And
back.
they'll bring friends.
And they bring
Yeah.
friends, that's right.
So specialty trainings, a lot of people don't take them because they think I'm never going to go in and teach that format. But there's a lot that you can get out of them. Like for me personally, I've taken golden toning. I don't plan on teaching them, but now when I walk into a class, there's an older population, I know how to kind of scale things back a little from the gold training, or when I'm working out choreography and I want to take my fitness variations up, I've got the toning to think about. So strong is another big thing that Zumba's moving into now. It's very different than regular Zumba. What would you tell people who are thinking about taking Strong, what they kind of need to be prepared for, like physically? Because just teaching regular Zumba class, there's a different fitness level needed for Strong. What would you tell somebody to kind of gauge themselves to be prepared for this?
Well, with Strong by Zumba, it is different and it is all fitness. There's not really any dancing. It's very much so fitness, and so prepare yourself as much as possible. We hold our own body weight with planks and push-ups, so making sure that you're able to do that. At the same time, it's very possible to teach a Strong by Zumba class to people who cannot do that yet, knowing that they will, because we provide modifications and then progress them all together or individually, however it is. The biggest thing with Strong by Zumba is that you as an instructor, you need to understand the people in your class. You've got to get to know your participants so that you can provide that safe and effective class for them and know at what point you need to modify or what point you can progress them. So it's really, really getting to know them. So even more than just your physical preparation, it's getting to learn who's coming into your classes,
So for somebody who may not be planning to teach Strong, do you think there's a lot that they can get from the training to bring into the regular Zumba classes?
We're not going to mix the two. Strong by Zumba is its own class, and we're not going to mix it with Zumba, but the principles and some of the exercise physiology terminology that we talk about in the Strong by Zumba class absolutely is going to help you out, because knowledge is power. The more you know, the more you're able to do, and think about it as another education. The more you have in your tool bag, then it's easier for you to teach and you become more confident. So even if you don't, like you said, you take a certain type of training, you don't plan on teaching it, but then you go in armed to your regular classes feeling so much more confident because you've got more knowledge.
Yeah, so it's definitely worth taking.
Absolutely.
I'm sure you'll start doing some master classes here and there, especially in Texas.
Absolutely.
Come check one out and see what it's all about, and then get to a training, because this is a very different thing, but it is definitely opens your mind to a lot more stuff.
Oh yeah, changes your whole perspective.
So you've seen a lot of instructors from being all around the world and stuff. If there is one little thing you could go and help most instructors, just say, oh, if I could just fix this, your world would be so much better. What advice would you give people?
Be simple, more simple.
Simplicity.
Not so complicated, because the success really does lie in simplicity, and I've said that from Sentao, step, here, the more simple that you can make things in your classes, the easier it is for people to succeed.
So true.
And if your whole point is, I want you to succeed because I want you to have a good time, I want you to come back, then why we frustrate them with so much stuff? Keep it simple, keep it easy, and then they feel amazing rock stars. They go out and they tell everybody how wonderful your class was because they can actually do it. If they come in and they can't do what you're doing, it's frustrating and they don't want to repeat that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, they'll just walk out too.
Yeah.
No, it's true, because when I went to the Latin pop session with Lindsay Taylor at convention this year, and she was breaking down some movements. We're playing with with voguing and that kind of stuff, but bring it to a fitness level. And we did some very simple thing of just marching in place and walking in a circle. And all you were doing is changing the inflection of how you did your feet and your hands and stuff. And it was like, you discovered this entirely brand new move you've never possibly thought of before, and it was literally march in place 4, walk in a circle 4, and it was like, oh my God, this is so different and new.
Yeah.
So yes, there is a lot of power in simplicity. So
absolutely.
Don't overthink it.
That's right. That's right.
So you, of all your ZES peers out there, you got to work with a lot of great people. If Zumba Home Office called you and said, hey, we should do a live class again, and we're going to pair you with.
Oh my gosh.
Is there somebody that you like, oh my gosh, I won the lottery? Because there's a lot of people. I know, but there's people you only see at the ZES meeting, There's people you don't get a chance to ever get to really work with. And there's someone that you're admire, that you're like, man, they've got so much mad skill.
Yeah, gosh, it's so hard. There's so many. But I'm gonna have to say, honestly, I would pick a lot of the gold Zesses.
Yeah.
Like Ali Ramirez, Priscilla, Ann Solody, Joy Prouty, all of them, because they have years of experience. And so I want to take from somebody that I can learn from. And I just think he's thinking cool to see all those girls break it down. I would love to do a class like that with anybody like that.
Joy and Josie are amazing.
Yes.
We took our gold training with them a couple years ago. The night before, we're like, it's gold training, it's not gonna be that hard. We're fine. We'll stay up and party all night. We went in the next morning. We did a little mini master class. And it was like, oh my God, I'm dying. I'm sweating. And the first thing they said, ha ha ha. It's Zumba Gold, not Zumba Old. So they can kick your butt, trust me.
That's right.
So that's it, guys. It's Marcie Benavides, our new Strong ZES for Texas. Please get to a strong training, check her out, and hopefully she'll be around doing semester classes. You got to experience her. Watch her Zen vines that are on there, 49, 61, 63. They're my favorites.
And 31 if you were that
And
like
yeah,
old.
I wish I had those access to those things. Maybe one day Zen will put them up for sale for us.
I know, right?
On Zen now, you never
Fingers
know.
crossed.
Anyway, get to her trainings, get to jam sessions, never stop growing, never stop learning.
That's right.
We'll see you guys soon.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Appreciate it.